Well, hi there. So in this practice video, we're going to be doing a little bit of practice with the causes of inflation and then one free response problem related to the Phillips curve. Let's get started. Okay, so the first part here asks about causes of inflation. So it's going to be a few different questions, mostly about the quantity theory. Assume the velocity of money is constant at 4. If the money supply increases from 100 to 200, to calculate the nominal GDP. Well, the new nominal GDP would be the 4 times 200, so $800. Hopefully not too bad. Remember, we are doing M times V equals P times Y, and that's what that is. According to ADAS, if inflationary expectations rise in an economy, what type of inflation results? Well, if inflationary expectations rise, SRAS is going to decrease, and so therefore, cost push inflation will happen. That's that nasty kind of a recession. That's a stagflation recession, but it's asking me about the type of inflation. So I wouldn't say stagflation, I would say it's cost push inflation. If nominal GDP for a given economy remained constant while the money supply increased, what must be true of money velocity? So if the P times Y stayed the same, that's the nominal part, while the money supply went up, that's this part, what must be true of money velocity? It must have gone down, right? It had to have. According to quantity theory of money, if the real GDP and the velocity of money remain constant, so that's the Y and the V, then while the money supply went down, what must be true of price levels? Well, they had to have also gone down, right? So M times V equals P times Y. This one stayed the same. This one stayed the same. And it says this one decreased, so therefore this one must decrease. That's the way to kind of think through those. Number 5, an economy is in short-run equilibrium with below full employment output. So here we are being told right here, recession, right? Be very careful when you're doing these. At right, draw a quickly graph of the Phillips curve, identify a recession as point A. So we'll do that here, off to the side, UE percent. Make sure you're using those percents, or you can write the word rate, but it does need to say that. You can't have it just say unemployment. That's kind of a bent looking one, but it'll do, pig. That'll do. And what do we got here? We need an LRPC because otherwise we can't show a recession. It doesn't ask us to label all this other stuff on here, so we can leave that out. Point A is going to be right here as a recession. Assume the government increases military expenditures, what type of inflation results? So AD will increase, and so therefore we call that demand pull inflation. Show the effect of this increase in military spending on our graph, labeling the new point as point B. No new curves, just a new point. That's because we're going to say maybe that they bought enough military stuff to close the recessionary gap. And so we went to point B right there. Assume the increased expenditures were financed by borrowing. What will happen to real interest rates? This is a throwback question from 8.4 loanable funds market. That's where this is coming from. And we would say the interest rate will rise because demand for loanable funds increased when government borrowed more. Or we could just say when the government borrowed. And that's really kind of coming out of that loanable funds market where you have a supply and demand graph, and it's just saying the demand went up. Assume the economy produces only 2 goods, military and civilian at right, using a correctly labeled production possibilities graph. And it does not tell me which side I need to do civilian and military, so I get to pick, right? A little bit of creativity here in econ today. Military. It also doesn't tell me if they're constant or if they're increasing. I think they're increasing because I think they would have maladapted inputs, but you can draw it as a straight line. What does it matter? Show the original state of the economy as point C. That's going to be a recession, and identify the effect of the increase in military spending as point D. So a key point here, military only, and so we can only go toward the military axis. Notice that I didn't increase it at all on the up at all, right? So this would be wrong for point D. That's point D is wrong. It can't be there. And also this has to align with what you did farther up here, right? Because if you said you close the recession in this part where you put the point B, you need to close the recession down here. But in fact, in this part, if you would put your point B way out here, like up farther, you could just put your point D a little bit farther out. If you put your point B right here, then you could put your point D right here. So there's a couple variations of how this problem could be done, but this way would always be wrong because there is no increase in civilian spending in this problem. Hopefully this helped you with Phillips curve and a little bit about the causes of inflation. I'll see you next time.